This is the Coin It Podcast, sponsored by coincosmo.com.
And I'm curious to see what you think about this. I think it might have to do you think that has something to do with the inefficiencies in the grading process for that type of coin? Like they haven't done it right yet, or they haven't figured out a clear grading method?
What do you mean by grading inefficiencies?
So like when you're looking at like cobs and stuff like that, like how do they really look at grading? Like, because a lot of them have been underwater, they've been treated, you know, there's things that have come over the so many years of this stuff and the way they were shaped, and a lot of them put in jewelry. I mean, is there really a clear grading criteria?
Yeah, so there is. I mean, I would say NGC is definitely the world leader in world coins, at least.
Right.
I think they just broke like the world record for the most amount of coins certified, different coins or something like that. So, I mean, you definitely have your pros and your cons, right? You know, if I have like a really high-end US coin, I probably send it over to PCGS. If I have a high-end, you know, world coin or shipwreck, I'm most likely going to send it over to NGC.
Got it.
But you know, so far, you know, I think they're very good on it. Like if you have like an Atosha coin with an original Mel Fisher tag, like NGC won't even practically grade them anymore because of the amount of like fakes that exist out there, the amount of, you know, real Atosha silver, which is pretty much just a dinged up like cup or plate that they had melted down. They had rescanned some of the dies that were on the ship or some old coins, and they're remaking modern restrikes with authentic Atosha silver. So the problem is, you know, you have a lot of that stuff that exists. I mean, eBay just did a large scrape where practically anyone that had raw material that claimed shipwreck were practically wiped off of eBay, because they found it was such a fraudulent error of how many people were selling fake coins. It was just right. Ridiculous. Hence why we get 99% of all of our coins graded. Like even if I get it in a bezel, I'll pop it out of the bezel, send it into NGC or PCGS, get it back, put it in the bezel, and then you know, sell you the photo authentication with it, either the TrueView or NGC style, which we've seen it does bring a slight premium above. But the interesting part about it is like how do you say, like salt corrodes chrome. Salt water does that to silver, but not really to gold. So from my understanding, most silver coins that have saltwater damage, let's just say in 1,000 years, will turn into dust, right? Well, that doesn't happen to gold coins. So they're capable of giving straight grades and stuff like that. Now, if there is damage, they'll get saltwater damage. If there's edge filing or X jewelry and stuff like that, it'll get that. So getting a straight grade is almost impossible on a shipwreck from silver. So if you find one, that's usually valuable. While it's more common for gold coins. I see that they're getting, you know, very stringent on, you know, requiring an abundance amount of documents to be able to get it in a certification for shipwreck. So I've had no loss in faith when it comes to the process, because I mean, it's rigorous. I can tell you that much.
That's great. That's very good news.
Yeah, but I would say the only problem that I see is the resubmissions. But I mean, that's a problem across the board.
Yeah,
because PCGS and NGC don't really communicate. So if I were to look at the 2,000 or less Lima Mint coins in the 8 escudos in NGC, for example, how many of those are resubmissions? Right? How many of those were, I had an AU 58, I thought it was a little bit better, I sent it back in for a 63 or a 62, right? And that 58 was never taken out, right? Or vice versa. I sent it over to PCGS, because that's what a lot of people will do now. They'll get a world coin that's a high grade or tied for a high grade in NGC. They'll bring it over to PCGS, get the same crossover grade, but now it's not tied in, right? It's only one known in PCGS.
If you don't,
or top pump. So you got to be smart looking at both of them.
Right. If they're not updating the population reports, it's very hard to tell. I mean,